And you have to be aware that there are many statistical methods. They fit better or worse to your data. So my first advice is, if you are going to do some research which will use numerical analysis, consult a statistician in advance, prior you go to this research. Because then you can easily make a fault simply because you ask wrong questions or get data which will not relate it to your problem, and so on and so on. I will speak about those problems in my next lecture. But in this very moment, I will show you a pedagogical experiment done by other student of mine, doctoral student, Peter Derlik, and he was testing a method. We all together have found a new method of teaching databases. But the question was, if you will come with a new method, you will have to prove that this method is worth of your research. So what you have done has a sense. So the usual method how to verify that is to create two groups of students. One will be in the testing program, the other one will be taught by standard method as usual. So, but what is very important, the content of their education should be the same. If possible, there should be the same teacher, which was the case, and there should be those different tools which will be used in the class, which differ by your verified, tested methodology. So this is the idea, and in our case, because it was about databases, in databases there is such a movement, new movement, which is called query by example, which means that the query is partially created by the computer, and you only verify whether it corresponds to your intended query. And we said, okay, it's very likely, and we believe that making solutions in QBE is faster, that those solutions will be more accurate, and finally the students will feel more comfort because they will do it easier, faster, and so on and so on. So those are measured, these factors were measured. This was done by computer. Computer measured how quickly, during the test, how quickly the student submitted the solution. The other one was evaluated by the lecturer, whether the solution was correct. And finally, the last one was a survey organized among students, and they were to express their feeling about difficulty of the solution. And we've got 3 graphs in the end. This graph shows, this is solution done by using QBA, and this one is done by traditional method. What you will see, there are 5 levels of complexity of task. I will not explain what this complexity means, but in general, those are the easiest one, these are the hardest one. And what we see is that in the center, those middle, the task with middle difficulty was done in less time by students who were using QBE than those who were doing using traditional programming method. When you have to write everything, the computer does not help you, does not support your development. Then there was a question about score, and what we were, to our surprise, the score was more or less identical. Yeah? Naturally, the easiest problems were solved best. The most difficult problems were caused by the difficulties anyway. So it doesn't depend. What we have proved that either you use QBE or traditional SQL, the brain of the student is substantial, his knowledge or her knowledge. But when we speak about comfort of student, those students who were doing in QBE express their high satisfaction with the method than those who were not. And what we see, again, it repeats in those problems with middle difficulty. One can conclude, okay, and I will show it here, but the conclusion must be better elaborated, but anyway, what we see, easy problems are easy for everyone and any method. Difficult problems are difficult for everyone and every method. But what we see in the middle, that when you start with beginners, it's better to use QBE because they will be more satisfied with what they do and they will solve problems faster than they do. So using QBE has its validation, in particular in beginning programming courses. So, our suggestion is use QBE.